Have you been looking for a way to transition from logging your foods day in and day out and having a more intuitive relationship with food and just cutting out tracking entirely? Today, we are going to talk about how to do that, how to go from logging your meals just to being able to naturally listen to your hunger and fullness cues. It's really pretty simple, but I think it goes without saying that mindful eating is a lot harder than it sounds. Let's get into it. Hey guys, my name is Katie for those of you who are new to my channel, and I am a dietitian / certified personal trainer. So today we're going to talk about a topic that comes up quite a bit with some of my clients, and that is how to transition from logging to not logging. It sounds pretty easy, and honestly, of course, you can always go cold turkey on this, but I find that kind of making more of a transition is an easier and healthier way to do it. And it's just helpful for those of you who have really been logging for a long time. Learn to trust your body and not go into that phase where you're freaking out from cutting off logging entirely. I know that can be kind of scary, and I want you to know that that's totally normal and that we can definitely work through it. So let's get started on this tips. First, it's important to understand that logging is not meant to be something that's a lifelong habit. It's more so meant to be something that some people use at the beginning of learning healthy foods and really knowing what a calorie is and how certain foods and certain calories, fats, proteins, fibers impact your body. I know that I will be mentioning calories in here, but I don't want to focus on just the calories in, calories out weight loss aspect. I just simply mean that some people need more food than they're getting. Some people need less food than they're getting, and that's just fact. It's not to shame anyone. It's not to say that you should obsess over calories, but honestly, starting off, sometimes logging is what it is. It's what we need to really reflect on our food choices. Hello, my God. If you see cats randomly jumping in and out of the shot, those are my new kittens. They are crazy and adorable at the same time. So again, there is nothing wrong with logging in the short term, but in long term, it can really cause some damaging effects to our self-esteem and our relationship with food, which we'll talk about a lot on this channel. It can cause ruminating over food choices, stressing out over food choices, really just obsessing and honing in too much, spending so much of your day focusing on what you ate, what you didn't eat, and how many calories that had. And that's not what we want. We don't want to obsess over it. We just want to be aware of it. Next, it can potentially lead to orthorexia, or an obsession over healthy eating, which is a new term that has been coined in the eating disorder realm. And also it can cause shame, and that can lead to other eating disorders. Now that is the extreme, of course, but a lot of people out there can be prone to eating disorders just because we have perfectionistic tendencies or competitive tendencies. It happens, and it's actually more common than the statistics say. So my best advice, if you had those tendencies and you're aware of this, is to just not go for logging in the first place. But if you already have, slowly weaning yourself off. I would say if you're typically logging every single day, every single meal, then maybe cut back to just 3 times a week for a couple weeks, and then 1 time a week, and then move to just a few times a month or a few times every couple months. Of course, the goal eventually is to not have to log, period, but sometimes there are special circumstances where I will either log or be mindful of the foods that I'm eating and kind of track them because my stomach is hurting or I feel like something is not digesting right, and then I want to be aware of why that's happening and what food might be causing those symptoms. That's a little different form of logging, but honestly, again, I try to stay away from anything that logs my calories because I just feel like it is not something that is healthy for me and most people. Another thing that is really helpful is to, instead of logging the calories and the macros, you can use an app called See What You Eat, and I will leave a link in the description box below for that app. See What You Eat is really helpful because all it is taking a picture of your food, and then you're able to type different notes on that food, and it's so helpful, especially like I said before, if I want to log but I don't want to log calories or macros or anything like that. It's very useful because you can see kind of how your foods are balancing out. You can make notes on those foods, and Sometimes, every so often, when I log through this app, I am able to see how many vegetables I'm having, see how many fruits I'm having in my day. And if I notice that maybe I'm feeling extra tired that week, and lo and behold, I don't have enough fruits and veggies, then I know that I need to up those categories. And it's not for the purpose of anything, you know, diet related. It's simply for the purpose of giving me the feelings and the energy and the well-roundedness in my diet that I want. So I find that really helpful. Again, I feel that it really doesn't trigger me half as much as an app where I log actual macros and other things like that. The next really important thing is to constantly check in with yourself. If you're hungry all the time and you feel like you're craving things all the time like crazy and you're not sure why, what are you feeling? What is your body telling you? Are you bored? Are you excited? Are you happy? Are you celebrating? Are you feeling stressed out? Are you trying to mask any certain emotion or thought? These are all really good things to ask yourself. Ones I see the most common are boredom, sadness, and anxiety. Those oftentimes lead to eating more than we would or craving certain foods to kind of numb that emotion. So the more you ask yourself these questions, the easier it's going to be in tune with your body, and eventually you won't have to feel like you're bombarding yourself all day long with questions. It'll just kind of come naturally. Awareness is key in my books. I think that you just need to learn when your body is truly hungry and when it is bored, and when you need to do something to treat that boredom, treat that stress, and not just use food as a mask to all those emotions. Easier said than done, but with practice it really, really works. I will never ever tell you to ignore a craving and just try to mask it with something else, try to avoid it by drinking loads of water. That's not at all what I'm trying to convey. It is simply just sometimes we really get out of touch with what our body needs. And that's what I'm an advocate for, is just to listen to your body and what it says. A dangerous game on this channel is going to be how many times I say, listen to your body. So these are my tips today for transitioning from logging every single day into a more mindful eating philosophy. A really great resource that I'm going to talk about in a video coming up soon is different books and workbooks that you can work on mindful eating with. These will give you more tangible tips and actionable plans to becoming a mindful eater, but it really is hard to go through that in a YouTube video form because everyone is so different and their challenges with food are very different. So hopefully you kind of understand that that's why I can't go into such tangible tips in here, but keep in mind that there are tons of workbooks out there for you, and I also offer nutrition coaching if you need to work one-on-one with someone and figure out how to build your healthiest relationship with food. So be sure to email me and I will leave all my information down below if that interests you. I will leave a resource list below as well with intuitive eating and mindful eating books, but I'm also going to have a video very soon that will talk in more detail about my favorite intuitive eating books. I can't wait to hear from you guys in the comments, and hello, my God. Can't wait to see you guys in the comment section below, and I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys. Oh my God. Why are you so cute? Oh, why are you so adorable? I love you.